This is a clear violation of the HOA rules, Jack.
This is my land, Linda. You can't just dictate what I do.
I'm just doing my job. The fines will start tomorrow.
Do what you have to do.
Jack Carter had spent decades turning his Texas ranch into a place nobody could control but him. Then one quiet morning, several unfamiliar vehicles appeared beyond his fence. The vehicles weren't familiar, and none of the people inside had contacted Jack beforehand. He watched them approach his private property and immediately knew something was wrong. Linda Harper stepped through the gate as if she had every right to be there. Jack walked toward them and calmly demanded to know who had authorized the inspection. Linda produced paperwork that she claimed gave the group authority to inspect the ranch. Jack looked over the documents carefully and realized the situation was far more complicated than he expected. Without waiting for Jack's permission, the group began moving toward different areas of the property. Jack stayed composed, documenting what was happening while asking them to stop. One inspector started measuring directly beside an old boundary marker. Jack stepped closer and warned them that they were crossing deeper into his private property. The conversation became tense, but Jack never raised his voice. He gave the visitors one simple instruction: leave the property until their authority could be properly verified. When the agents refused to leave immediately, Jack decided the situation needed to be handled carefully. He headed toward the house to contact the proper authorities and protect his property through lawful means. Jack retrieved his legally owned shotgun from its secured storage because he feared the confrontation might escalate. He kept it pointed safely downward and never fired it, determined to avoid unnecessary violence. When Jack stepped back outside, the entire group suddenly stopped. He told them to stay where they were and leave the property peacefully. The agents had expected an angry argument, but they clearly hadn't expected Jack to be armed. Linda immediately told her team to stop moving and reassess the situation. Jack never fired the shotgun and never moved toward anyone. His message was simple: nobody was getting hurt, and everyone needed to leave. Linda stepped away and made a hurried phone call. Jack continued standing his ground while waiting for the proper authorities to arrive. Jack knew the situation could become dangerous if emotions took over. He lowered the shotgun further and focused on keeping everyone calm until help arrived. A county sheriff's vehicle finally arrived at the ranch entrance. For the first time that morning, everyone had someone neutral to explain the situation to. The sheriff separated everyone and asked each side to explain what had happened. Jack cooperated fully and explained exactly why he felt threatened by the unexpected inspection. The sheriff carefully examined the paperwork Linda had brought. The question was no longer about who sounded more confident. The documents had to speak for themselves. The property boundary became the key issue. Once the sheriff reviewed the available records and physical markers, the agents realized they had gone farther onto the ranch than they should have. Linda's confident attitude disappeared when she realized the inspection had crossed a line. She finally acknowledged that her team should have verified the property information before entering. The inspection equipment was packed away one piece at a time. The same people who had arrived confidently now seemed eager to get back into their vehicles. Jack opened the gate and gave them a clear path out. He wanted the confrontation finished without anyone getting hurt or arrested. One by one, the vehicles disappeared down the dirt road. Jack finally watched the last cloud of dust drift away from his property. The ranch became quiet again. Jack looked across the land and realized how quickly an ordinary morning had turned into something he would never forget. That evening, Jack went through every document in detail from the incident. He knew that being prepared and knowing his property rights mattered just as much as standing his ground. The next morning, Jack made one practical change at the entrance. He installed a clear private property sign so future visitors would know exactly where they were. Jack also organized the property records and boundary information in one place. He wanted the facts to be easy to verify if anyone ever questioned his land again. Days later, the ranch was peaceful again. Jack had learned that sometimes the strongest response wasn't aggression. It was staying calm, knowing the facts, and protecting your property responsibly. The land had been Jack's responsibility long before the HOA agents arrived. And after everything that happened, he was determined to keep it peaceful, lawful, and firmly under his own control. Jack's ranch stayed standing. The unwanted inspection was over, and everyone left without anyone getting hurt. Like, subscribe, and tell me where you're watching from.